Chapter 391 Dragon Platform. Okay, I'll go take a look right away. He put the horses away for setting up the future, then wiped his face and followed Ling Juan to the future. Enter through the back door. Then go to the response ask on the first floor. A tall, slender woman was sitting in front of the counter. The woman had a light blue tourist robe, her face was as white as jade, her long eyelashes were curved, and she radiated divine light. As He Pingxing entered the first floor of the Chamber of Commerce, she left her eyes and looked over. His eyes were sharp and angry, but with that angel lay a hint of curiosity and calm. Upon seeing He Pingxing, the corners of her mouth involuntarily covered into a milk. The last two words, very, had barely left her lips when the woman in the light blue dress moved. The attack was swift, rules, and precise. He Pingxing was started. He happened back. He had no indication of engaging in a direct response with the other party. Firstly, this is within my own members of community. Secondly, though the woman's swordsmanship was sharp and swift, her sword was not involved with any immortal energy, and there was no killing in her attacks and thanks. He Pingxing had no choice but to retro. To Him Pingxing's tenure, the opponent's long sword walked left and right like a service, sometimes last, sometimes slow, sometimes up, sometimes down, but it never broke more than a foot from his grave. Putting aside either he could win or not, the wordsmanship alone most certainly led by He Pingxing. It must be a very high-level technology. I'm sorry. 2 breaks later, He Pingxing had nowhere left to retreat, his body already leaving a He Pingxing did not rest. But he wasn't worried. The opponent did not act his immortal power, so even if the word suddenly must out, it would not be able to pierce his throat. Moreover, immortals are different from mortals. Even if their throats are pierced, it is only a general sound. Swallowing a top-grade golden bone pill will suddenly heal your injuries. Prince Xianxia uttered a single word, then without her jade arm, and the ice-blue word was taken away from her and hung back on her weight. It was you who spread rivers everywhere, saying that I, the signed Prince Xianxia of the royal family, was your concubine. Prince Xianxia's employed normally after her swordplay development. He Pingxing already knew why she had come, so he quickly said, "No. Heaven and earth can be warless, I didn't say a single word." "So you've thought about it? Is that right?" He Pingxing said, "I swear, I never even agreed it." He Pingxing thought he was upright and had nothing to hide, but he didn't expect that his words would prevent the old lady in front of him to fly into a race again. He Pingxing's face happened. You need to be incredibly shrewd to talk to a woman. He felt he didn't even have 100 cunning ideas, so he decided to stop talking. He's not placing a single word. "Why aren't you saying anything? Why don't you say something? Hey, what do you mean? Believe it or not, I'll bear down this long shot of yours." He Pingxing quickly intruded. "Prince Xianxia, please understand, this matter really has nothing to do with me. Your royal minister's original words were, if I were a person of great fortune, then I would." Right. You should understand. But later, the angel saw that I was just a guy who had only experienced the tribulation lightning of the third 9 tribulation, and not someone with great future, so perhaps he felt that I was not working of you, and he didn't mention it again, and left. That's the whole story. After saying that, He Pingxing shrugged. Xianxia's face turned pale, and she said coldly, "With just a few words from you, you've already defined my date for life, and now you've even turned my report. There's nothing I can do, you'll just have to access your bad luck. I've already made arms for the arena. I'll be waiting for you in the central city, Long Tai, in 3 days. Let's see just how capable you are." After saying that, Prince Xianxia turned and left. He Pingxing expounded a whist of his divine sense and Swedish it over the other person. "If you want to fight me, I need to know your level first, right?" The 12th level of the Golden Core stage. Goodness, that's so tall? Fellow Taoist he. After Prince Xianxia left, Lingji tiptoed over and asked, "Are you all right?" He Pingxing shook his head, "It's nothing." "But what's going on?" Logically speaking, the royal ministers shouldn't have had such a presence, since He Pingxing had had to sit down any time for being a person with great fortune. Therefore, even if these words reached the princess's ears, she wouldn't be so angry. I'm not quite sure either. He Pingxing asked, what do you mean? Lingji said, I don't know when it started, but there have been rumors in the capital that the royal family became the best princess to you as a concubine, but you returned. Hey! Upon hearing this, He Pingxing's face suddenly turned open. No wonder Prince Qinghe was so angry. Oh, I see. It's just, how did that come out? Someone did it on purpose? Don't mean it. The eyes of his lifetime are faint. It should be someone who deliberately creates a contradiction. What's this roam-by thing that the princess just said? The dragons are the battles. Ling Ling used to say, the battles of the Deutsche are different from the others. Someplace else, this city's capital is basically the only place where a fundamentalist can compete. But there are 10 three-story battles at the Dixon in the Dixon, to defend against the after-effects of the Kimdons, so there's a battle in the dragons for the Kimdons. Hero, Princess Kyoha is looking for you to win the battle. Nods. Not too much. A woman gets her reputation back. Whatever. Just let her win. What's that? The 3 poisons I asked you to collect before, is there now? 5+ debt. Day 2. Do you like the poaching pots? Chapter 392 The Ninth Prince's Worries, that's enough. Lingji said, however, some of them, because they were collected too long ago, have dried out, and a lot of the toxins have been lost. The 3rd-grade poison pill is an inner core of poisonous demonic beasts that have reached the golden core stage. It is fresh when it is taken out, but if it is not used in time, the toxicity will dissipate over time. Moreover, this poison pill will become shriveled and inactive, even if it is well preserved. But He Pingxing wasn't worried, because he had the treasure basin, which could be strengthened. It doesn't matter if the toxicity is lost, it will still be optimally toxic after enhancement. No problem, give it to me first. He Pingxing put all the 100 or so poison pills into his storage ring, and then threw the things and wealth that he had previously robbed from ancestor Ruokai to Ling Jiwang. These assets can be used to replenish the Chamber of Commerce. It just so happens that the goods in the Chamber of Commerce are not particularly complete recently. In addition to these, He Pingxing took out 2 more, splitting thunder fruits. The Rift Thunder Fruit is a 4th-grade immortal fruit and one of the main ingredients for refining the breakthrough pill. He obtained this thing after fighting the giant dragon in the Wooden Dragon Gully. The Rift Lightning Fruit is a valuable item, and it usually only appears at auctions. After doing all this, He Pingxing returned to his main hall, where he strengthened the poison pill, while beginning to cultivate the 9 poisons refined golden body technique. This thing hasn't been practiced in a long time. Trying to learn at the last minute, I don't even know how far I can go. 1 day. 2 days. 3 days. Before we knew it, it was the 3rd day. On the 3rd day, Xiao He personally went to He Pingxing's dojo and specifically asked him to go to the dragon platform to fight. Master, go for it, you can definitely win. Xiao He raised her little fist. He Pingxing said, stop talking nonsense. Princess Qinghe has the cultivation of the 12th level of the golden core stage. What qualifications do I have to win? We definitely can't win. In fact, He Pingxing had already figured it out in his mind. He planned to throw the competition. No matter how strong Princess Qinghe is, he will lose. Because if he won, He Pingxing worried that he would have endless trouble with this woman afterward. And there's no benefit to winning. It's better to lose. Longtai is under the jurisdiction of the capital. It is a very large competition venue. Most of this place is designed to provide venues for foundation establishment cultivators to duel, but there is also a place where golden core cultivators can duel. That is Longtai. On the dragon platform, there are 10 array formation sites specifically for golden core cultivators. As soon as He Pingxing entered the dragon platform, he saw countless cultivators from the capital standing shoulder to shoulder below the platform. Seeing this, He Pingxing couldn't help but touch his forehead. Good heavens! Wow, so many people! Princess Qinghe, that woman, even spread the news of the martial arts competition to everyone's knowledge. Just as He Pingxing was surprised, a disciple dressed in a moon-white robe respectfully bowed to him and said, Greetings, Senior. His Highness the Crown Prince is waiting for you over there. Please come and reminisce about old times. He Pingxing looked in the direction the man was pointing and saw that in a luxurious VIP box at the very back of the viewing platform, the ninth prince stuck his head out of the window and waved his arms at He Pingxing a few times. Once it was confirmed that it was him, He Pingxing was relieved. All right, he said, lead the way. Soon, He Pingxing arrived at the last row of the viewing platform. It's also the highest row. This row is entirely VIP seating, and each VIP seat is a private box with restrictions placed on it, preventing ordinary cultivators from penetrating it with their divine sense. Get out, all of you. The ninth prince waved his hand, driving all his men out of the private room. In the small private room, only He Pingxing and the ninth prince remained. Congratulations! He Pingxing sat down opposite the ninth prince with neither arrogance nor servility. I heard you've become the crown prince now. Hehehe. The ninth prince laughed heartily, revealing a smug expression, and said, that's right, if I, a dignified 6-9 heavenly tribulation, can't become the crown prince, then everyone in this royal family is blind. Let me tell you. Hehehe. I'm not just the crown prince. And he is a disciple personally trained by the ancestor. In the future, in the future. You know what I mean. He Pingxing said, thank you for your help, Your Highness. That courtyard is nice. You're welcome, the ninth prince said. Actually, I should thank you. Well, how should I put it? Without you, I wouldn't have had that 6-9 heavenly tribulation. He Pingxing was slightly startled after hearing this. What's the meaning? He didn't speak, but stared at the ninth prince. The ninth prince put his middle finger to his lips and said, it's not convenient to talk about this here. I'll communicate with you telepathically. After speaking, the ninth prince used the method of telepathic communication to communicate with He Pingxing. Fellow Daoist may not know why your tribulation of the 3-9 heavens had such a powerful force back then. Actually, the tribulation you underwent was not the 3-9 heavenly tribulation, but the 9-9 heavenly tribulation. However, in order to conceal its true nature, heaven deliberately transferred the previous 6 heavenly tribulations onto me. Otherwise, what virtue or ability do I, Xianxia, possess to have attracted the 6-9 heavenly tribulation? As he spoke, a bitter smile appeared on the ninth prince's face. He Pingxing nodded. He didn't expect that the ninth prince also knew about this. Then, he asked Xianxia, besides you, who else knows about this? Only me. Xianxia said, how dare I tell anyone else? If this gets out, and they find out that my luck is just average, I'll lose my position as crown prince. So, fellow Daoist our fates are intertwined, we are. Stop. He Pingxing waved his hand and said, don't talk nonsense. Don't worry, you can insult me but I won't. Get your facts straight. Yes, yes, yes. Xianxia said, I naturally understand that my status and wealth are all thanks to your good fortune. So, I know you will definitely shine in the 9 Kingdoms Grand Competition. When you break through to the nascent soul stage, be sure to let me know in advance, because we'll be undergoing tribulation together. Otherwise, I'll be exposed. The ninth prince looked eager. He Pingxing smiled and said, all right. Anyway, this is something only you, me, heaven, earth, and no third person can know about it. Don't worry, the ninth prince said, even if you leak it, I won't leak it. Oh, by the way, how are you planning to fight my sister this time? The ninth prince gestured with his chin towards the outside. He Pingxing discovered that Princess Xianxia had already stepped onto the arena and was waiting. Instead of answering Xianxia's question, he countered with, do you know what the rumors are all about? The reason Xianxia approached him was because of the rumor that He Pingxing doesn't want her. This is clearly something that was deliberately spread by someone. I don't know. The ninth prince shook his head. But apart from the 13th prince, no one would do something so pointless. And when the ancestor said those words, besides you and me, only the 13th prince was present. It can only be him. Chapter 393 Dragon Steel. He Pingxing and the ninth prince were of the same mind on this point. He was also thinking of the third prince. No one but him would do something so points. But there is no evidence. Never mind. Liang Jiri sent and said, "My sister is already waiting for you." He Pingxing said, "No rush, I want to ask you, what is the self-determination met for the description of this Nine Kingdoms Grand Commission? How will the regulation process?" "It's very simple." The Netherlands prince said. "This is the most important point. If other countries use us to protect the assets of Liang, that will not be acceptable." He Pingxing noted, but in the environment Liang Kingdom, there are often counts of gold core consultants. "Look over there, do you see that?" He Pingxing looked in the direction the ninth prince was pointing. The ninth prince received. This stone tablet records the names of 100 golden chambers in the Liang Kingdom. From this moment forward, all multinationals of the Liang Kingdom may challenge the top 10 on this stone tablet. He Pingxing asked, "And what is this dragon steel? Is it technically for rehearsing races?" The ninth prince did. Sometimes, reports and such responses for those in the Golden Core state are also based on this ranking. He Pingxing understood. He noted. This thing is simple to the dragon's raw steel, and that he saw in Dingxiang County before. They all serve the exact same potential. However, the Dragon Raw ranking and Phoenix Cry ranking in Dingxian City are ranges of dissipations in the foundation establishment and Qi refining status. The one in the central city shows the power race of all Golden Core status figures in the unit Liang Kingdom. "I don't know." As he spoke, He Pingxing's secret accepted them. Though he couldn't see the names on the front of the stone tablet with his eyes, his vast divine sensed out, and the 100 rankings on the stone tablet clearly appeared in He Pingxing's divine sense. Rand first, Liang Huaqiu. He Pingxing said in doubt, "The first place winner is also named Liang, just like you." Liang Huaqiu. "Is it one of your old brothers?" The ninth prince found like a woman, his body trying with ecstasy. "Ha ha ha ha. That's beautiful. You also think this name should belong to a certain man, don't you?" He Pingxing informed. "Otherwise what?" The ninth prince pointed again. "Look, that's your best concubine, that's Liang Huaqiu." Heh. On the one hand, he didn't expect that it was actually Prince Qinghe's name. On the other hand, what blocked He Pingxing even more was that he did not expect that Prince Qinghe was actually the first on the Dragon Steel. The number 1 gold core minister in the Great Liang Kingdom? Is it that strong? She's actually that strong. He Pingxing couldn't help but ask. Yes, she was already very strong. Call. He Pingxing took a deep breath, realizing he had to return his opponent. No wonder her swordsmanship was so superb back at the Chamber of Commerce that He Pingxing could barely do it. Really, a word was secured against his grave. Though He Pingxing would certainly not have been able to kill someone in a real fight, it still develops Qinghe's strong. He Pingxing couldn't help but ask, "Is she also at the Golden Core state?" The ninth prince chuckled. He, you two really do look like a married family. You have the 5-element spiritual root. She has the same 5-element spiritual root as you. And it involves reporting all 5 elements highly. As for the Golden Core channel, that's natural. She had already reached the Golden Core stage when she first stepped into the Golden Core realm, but unfortunately, because there was no such thing as a Dao replenishing bill, she spent a full 6 years reporting before she could become to accompany the Dao. It wouldn't be wrong to call it the Golden Core channel now. He Pingxing's eyes raised brightly. He had a basic accounting of this woman's relationship path. With 5 spiritual roots and reporting all 5 elements simultaneously, it's clear that this woman's support is extremely low. Otherwise, he wouldn't have died at the Golden Core stage for over 60 years. Technically, she has now reached the level of the Golden Core stage and has overcome the bottleneck. Essentially, as long as one is not technically important, they will definitely reach the nascent soul stage. It's just a matter of sooner or later. Or perhaps, they already had the ability to reach the nascent soul stage, but deviantly retired their claim to avoid breaking through because they wanted to wait for the 9 Kings Grand Commission. The next battle is going to be quite interesting. You can go and fight now. The ninth prince said. He pointed to the arena. He Pingxing said, "No rush, the application is for today, any time is fine today, let her wait a little longer. I have another very important question to ask you." "Speak." The ninth prince said. He Pingxing said, "You just said that as long as you were a Golden Core minister from Lang Kingdom with a clean background and legal origin, you can call the top 10 on this dragon steel. Then the question is, how can we fight if hundreds of people challenge your sister in one time? Can't the princess give them one by one?" "Good question." The 9 princes say, "The royal family has long thought of this level. All those who challenged the same day, who fought in private and became famous. The first one, then challenged the guard above the monument. To be clear, it is all the challengers who first take the first and the first to challenge the pillar keeper. This is not only efficient but also fast." "Yes." He stood up and said, "Your Highness, leave. Look how I beat your sister down." He's a little dressed up in his life and slowly walked out of his home. And the next step, it fell over the ring. The Princess Xianxia, sitting on her knees on the stage, opened her eyes and a smile appeared in her mouth. "Fine, I thought you weren't coming. You have the courage. Do you like the poaching pots?" Chapter 394 Emperor Liang's Heavenly Gang, please enlighten me. He Pingxing bowed to Princess Xianxia. "You're welcome." Princess Xianxia pushed off the ground and stood up. Today, she wore a purple dress, which made her appear even taller and more elegant. Combined with her unparalleled beauty, she truly lived up to the previous description of her as having decent looks from the royal ancestor. It can only be said that it is even worse. Holy crap! The two had barely exchanged a few pleasantries when people below started talking about it, and they were talking quite loudly. "No way, is this the guy who looked down on Princess Xianxia? I thought he was some kind of prodigy, how come he looks like this? It's not ugly, but it's just too ordinary, isn't it? Yes, he is not worthy of Princess Xianxia at all. I heard this guy is just an ordinary golden core cultivator at the 3-9 heavenly tribulation stage. Don't worry, once the princess makes her move, she'll definitely blast him into 18 pieces. Hehehe. Even if the princess shows mercy, I'll still go on stage and challenge him to death. That is. No one can bully our princess." He Pingxing shifted his gaze slightly, looking down at the audience. Actually, it's not so bad. Although everyone was talking, they all kept their heads down and spoke in hushed tones. Only 4 or 5 people were shouting loudly, as if they wanted everyone to know. It's obvious they're deliberately trying to manipulate people. Those with ulterior motives. It's you. He Pingxing said bluntly, pointing at the person who had been jumping the loudest. "My competition with the princess can be postponed a little. Weren't you trying to kill me? Come on, let's fight first, the two of us." As he spoke, He Pingxing's divine sense swept over the guy without any hesitation. His cultivation level is not weak, he has already reached the 10th level of the Golden Core stage. The guy looked embarrassed as He Pingxing pointed at him. "Should we go for it? What a load of rubbish." Although he didn't know He Pingxing's combat strength, his master did. His master had said that He Pingxing was a Golden Core cultivator. The Golden Core channel. Although that person was only at the 5th level of the Golden Core stage, it was still beyond his reach. The guy shrank back, then gave an awkward smile. He. "Fellow Daoist, it's a misunderstanding. You fight. I wish you victory." After saying that, the fellow completely shrank his head. As a result, those who had been gossiping fell silent, as if they were afraid of being called out by He Pingxing. "All right, Your Highness, we can begin." He Pingxing took a deep breath. Princess Xianxia replied, "No rush. I've been waiting for you for so long, a little longer won't make a difference. Before we begin, we must explain the rules of this fight. To ensure the fairness and impartiality of this competition, therefore, we cannot use talismans, magic weapons, elixirs, etc. In short, no external forces may be used. You can only use your own magical abilities to attack and defend. Are you okay with that?" Liang Huaqiu's fair, moon-like face was slightly raised, her pointed chin facing He Pingxing. Her neck was long and slender, and the veins above her collarbone showed beautiful lines. He Pingxing said, "In terms of fairness and impartiality, there is no problem. However, I am only at the 5th level now, while Her Highness the Princess is already at the 12th level. Is this fair?" Liang Huaqiu sneered, "That's only because your cultivation is too shallow. What does it have to do with me?" He Pingxing said, "Fine, I can only blame myself for being born too late." Damn it! Liang Huaqiu suddenly flew into a rage and said, "Are you referring to me, the old palace elder?" Snort. Boom. Enraged, Liang Huaqiu waved her hand, and a cold sword light flew out from her sleeve, slashing towards He Pingxing. She didn't use any magical artifacts or treasures, she simply waved her hand casually, and sword energy shot out. This must be a spell or supernatural power. He Pingxing naturally dared not be negligent. He channeled his metallic magical energy, and with a boom, a golden shield formed around his body. Spell, Vajra Shield. Moreover, He Pingxing did not use the 5 elements mixed force in this defensive move. He merely used his own metal elemental spiritual power. He Pingxing wanted to see Princess Qingha's true strength, but he also didn't want to reveal his own trump card too early, especially under the watchful eyes of everyone. To He Pingxing's surprise, the opponent's ice attribute sword technique was far too sharp. The sword energy struck the golden shield, followed by a cracking sound. The golden shield developed several cracks. He Pingxing was taken aback. He moved his feet and unleashed the 3000 Thunderclap technique. The 3000 Thunderclap technique can instantly increase speed 5-fold. With this speed boost, He Pingxing moved sideways, covering a distance of 3 zhong. The next moment, the sword energy shattered the golden shield, and the remaining force still pierced through a seemingly hard blue stone. The blue stone was crushed. Sure. A chorus of boos erupted from the audience. He Pingxing frowned. The power of laws. That's right, Qingha's first attack contained the power of laws. He Pingxing's Vajra shield wasn't too weak, it was just that he didn't incorporate the power of laws, but instead used pure spiritual energy for defense. It's impossible to defend against. You ran pretty fast. Liang Huaqiu's anger was still evident on her face. Again. Swoosh. Another sword light flew in. It is also a sword light with the attribute of ice. This time, He Pingxing did not use the Vajra shield spell. A layer of yellowish-brown light suddenly appeared around his body. Spell, Earth Armor spell. Moreover, this time, He Pingxing also incorporated a trace of Daoist magic into this Earth Armor technique. Use the power of rules to defend against the power of rules. Moreover, Earth overcomes water. I don't believe you can pierce it. Phut. Sure enough, the cyan sword light disappeared into He Pingxing's Earth Armor technique and was completely dissipated. The light membrane of the Earth Armor technique only dimmed by 5/10. Broken wood. Princess Qinghe missed her first attack, but she didn't stop. The instant the sword energy disappeared, a huge wooden spike suddenly shot out from the ground. He Pingxing's Earth Armor technique's light membrane dimmed by another 5 points, and then it burst with a puff. Hiss hiss hiss. The wooden spikes kept piercing towards He Pingxing from all directions. Greenish venom was oozing from the splinter. Diamond shield.
Jin Kakamo.
The Vajra shield is perfect for countering the wood-breaking divine power. Moreover, He Pingxing added the power of laws to the Vajra shield this time. The broken wood naturally couldn't break through the shield. Princess Qinghe gritted her teeth and said, "Are you a turtle? Even if you are a turtle today, I'm going to break that damned shell of yours." Emperor Liang's heavenly gang. Gather them. The next moment, Princess Qinghe took a step and stood in the void. Suddenly, countless invisible golden auras appeared around her, and these golden auras all gathered towards her. Chapter 395. You when the golden aura around her seemed to be slowly gathering around the prince, but in reality, it was happening at an extremely last place. In the blink of an eye, she was as if she had donned golden arms. He Pingxing tried it. he made 2 observations to attack Prince Qinghe when she was holding her gold aura. It's obvious. Liang Huaqiu's body was built by an extreme powerful force of Daoist rules. Ordinary belongings simply cannot bear it. When Liang Huaqiu's supposed to be powered, she moved. He Pingsheng said, I have already used my ultimate technology. With the Liang Emperor's heavenly gang blessing me, my attack power can be affected by 50%. The force of your next state could very well be the death of you. You can still survive now. The Prince of Liang quoted a powerful sense of self-convention. The heavenly gang of Emperor Liang is a close-ended security of the Liu family. Moreover, even among members of the family, not everyone can claim. Who can multivite is up to the royal minister to develop. At this moment, He Pingsheng's fighting suit also signed, and he said, I want to give it a try. Prince Qinghe said, only if you can handle this attack will you be measured to discuss marriage with me. Cut. Prince Qinghe looked down at the golden ship on He Pingsheng's body and then shot. A crimson fire attribute attack arrived. In the Vade, a red word about easy feet long was formed. This knife is certainly not a real mass weapon or treasure. It is certainly a strategic power secured from the spiritual energy and the power of rules. I don't know. Cut. He Pingsheng was not to be outside. He shot and moved his right hand. In an instant, even like arrows formed in the Vade. From arrows. This thing was built from the ice arrow technique. During the years He Pingsheng spent in the abyss of purgatory, he would practice this shell and the whole power whenever he had free time. Though it is not perfect, it has already achieved great success. Bang, bang, bang. Even enormous like greens out, each crushing into the eye-foot-long sword in the Vade. However, after all these beautiful debates, they only returned the brighty-foot-long sword to 5th in English. The resting fresh down on He Pingsheng's head. Fortunately, He Pingsheng's body was programmed by a ship, the Vajra shield. Fire overcomes metal. Therefore, after reporting the pretty-foot-long fire attribute longsword, the Vajra shield shared the continuing 20-foot-long phantom of the sword strategically into He Pingsheng's body. Fut. A spray of blood euphorized. Prince Qinghe broke in mid-air. Outside, the 9th prince in the prime room jumped to his feet. We're done. Holy crap. Big brother, you cannot simply die. Off the field, countless people stared side-eyed. As the fairlight made, He Pingsheng's figure came into view. He did not die. However, the long knee cut a long sound on his body. It should be noted that He Pingsheng concluded about 20 to 30% of the final blues by sheer physics strength. He brings the 9 poisons refined golden body, a heaven-rank body refining technique, making his body incomparably strong. It dies on the severity of the injury. As a result, He Pingsheng absorbed the remaining force with his physical body, and his body was not broken. That's awful. How can I lose? So he was using a highly technical to create a long, grooves Q surgical sound for himself. Are you all right? He tried to make his face appear paler, then raised his head and said, It's all right. Your Highness, you've won. I am no match for you, and I concede defeat. Having just thought this battle, He Pingsheng already had a sense of this woman's viewing planet. After all, he hadn't used any of his trump cards. Through the entire process, he only used a few simple phrases. In the end, he injured himself on his own initiative. Otherwise, Liang Huaqiu wouldn't have been able to hurt him even a little bit without him needing to dodge. If I lose, I can walk away unscathed. It's better to lose. When He Pingsheng came to this dragon platform, he had already made the decision to lose to his opponent. Now that the other party is using the power of Emperor Liang, it's just a good orientation to go with the flow. However, to be fair, Emperor Liang's supposed to be valuable. Though this thing can't hurt He Pingsheng, the arsehole that can incorporate power by 50% is really too tempting. Cough through. He Pingsheng thought for a while and spat out a lot of blood. She hurriedly took out some health bills from her story coming and saying, You should eat these first. He Pingsheng, however, took out a top-grade golden bone bill and swollen it in one gulp. For Sultanists, as long as their security of conscience, divine sense, Danish, gold core, Tao root, or spiritual root are not damned, everything else is considered a general injury. He Pingxing, on the other hand, only submissive injuries. After walking a top-grade golden bill, his injuries were heard in the time it took for half an incense stick to burn. He Pingxing is no match for her. He jumped off the ring in one step. Watching He Pingxing's clean and efficient partner, Prince Qinghe had a slide and bizarre feeling. She felt that He Pingxing was deviatingly shagging her off, as if he didn't want to have much integration with her. Did he come here today to fight with me? Sister. On the other side, the 9 princes also came and surrendered to the princess. Oh, ninth. The beam wrinkled his twilight, saying, "You killed 13th and 2 road followers in one breath, you said so well. Why is it so difficult to fight me today?" She looked to His Majesty's head, and she was confused. "This I don't know." The 9 princes stood up. Perhaps he used to use the sacred instrument, and perhaps the golden season and the base period were completely different. Of course, there's also the possibility that you're too good. After all, you're number 1 in Liang's temple. How can anyone fight you? So, I thought I'd say, maybe. I hope to see him when the 9 kingdoms are bigger. That's for sure. 9th Prince's Road, he can't beat you, but he'll be fine with the top 10. Do you like the poaching pots? Chapter 396 6th level of Golden Core. He Pingxing returned to the Chamber of Commerce with a calm expression. There weren't many people in the Chamber of Commerce. Ling Ji asked, "Did you win?" He looked expectant. He Pingxing said, "I lost." What? Upon hearing the news, Ling Jiwang walked out from behind the counter, exclaiming in disbelief, "That's impossible. How could you lose?" He Pingxing looked stunned. "I just can't lose." What? Xiao He appeared out of nowhere. "Master, you lost. How could you possibly lose? Aren't you the most powerful golden core cultivator?" Wah! Upon hearing that He Pingxing had lost, Xiao He actually burst into tears. He Pingxing looked at himself from side to side. Is it so abnormal that I lost? All right, all right. He Pingxing reached out and patted Xiao He's head, saying, "Don't be sad. It's just a loss. I'll win it back when my cultivation is stronger. After all, he's the number 1 in the Dragon Steely. How could I possibly compare?" Xiao He clenched her hands into 2 white fists and rubbed her eyes hard. Tears continued to stream down her face. I bet on you to win, and I've lost everything. It's not just you who lost, I lost too, Wara. He Pingxing. Good heavens. Good heavens. No wonder she was crying so hard. Damn it. I thought you were concerned about me. At this moment, He Pingxing felt as if he were possessed by the spirits of the Grandmaster Taishu and Xiaoyaozi. Traitorous disciple, traitorous disciple, traitorous disciple. Fellow Daoist Ling, you didn't bet too, did you? He turned to look at Ling Jiwang. Ling Ji gave an awkward smile. Cough cough, not much, not much. Serves you right. He Pingxing uttered 2 words, then shook his clothes and returned directly to his main hall. A pink futon was tossed out. Then sit cross-legged on it. He took out several items. The first one, the heavenly steely of refining the Tao. Second, supreme gathering essence pill. Third, top-grade poison pill. He swallowed a qi gathering pill. Within He Pingxing's body, the 5 elements mixed in one heaven scripture instantly began to operate, as improving his cultivation was necessary. Now, his cultivation has reached the peak of the 5th level of the Golden Core stage. You should know that during the years when he watched Xiao Feng hatch in the abyss of purgatory, He Pingxing was constantly cultivating, but unfortunately he did not break through. Now that I think about it, I'm not far from breaking through. Get promoted quickly. At the same time, he also swallowed a poison pill. The 9 poisons refining body within his body began to operate wildly. Body refining techniques and cultivation techniques followed different meridians, so they can be practiced simultaneously. It didn't have much of an impact. Finally, from He Pingxing's sea of consciousness, the Daoist magic extended out and enveloped the refining Tao heavenly steely. Refine the Daoist arts. Although he had comprehended many Daoist techniques, these techniques still needed further refinement, and the refining Tao Heavenly Steely was the best medium for such refinement. Time flowed by slowly. 8 months have passed in the blink of an eye. He Pingxing opened his eyes. His cultivation finally broke through, reaching the 6th level of the Golden Core stage. Call. He opened his mouth and exhaled a breath of foul air. After 8 months of rigorous training, He Pingxing's Taoist skills have become even more refined. I'm only now realizing the benefits of this refining Tao Heavenly Steely. The more I look at it, the more I like it. The key is that this thing can be upgraded. I heard that it can be upgraded after absorbing Tao techniques. Yes. Try giving him some Taoist magic absorption. He Pingxing took out a piece of 10,000-year ice marrow and casually tossed it onto the refining Tao Heavenly Steely. Divine senses can detect traces of the Heavenly Steely of refining Tao devouring the 10,000-year-old ice marrow. However, it's very slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Let it upgrade gradually. With a wave of his hand, He Pingxing collected the refining Tao Heavenly Steely and the 10,000-year ice marrow into the Great Freedom Pearl. As for the 9 poisons refined golden body for body tempering, he also cultivated the Golden Core chapter to the 2nd level. There was no other way. The time was too short. He Pingxing was only able to reach the 2nd level by enduring the pain and bearing the pressure of advancing beyond his level. Wake up. Don't sleep. He Pingxing reached out and gently grabbed one of the furry creature's legs, then lifted it upside down. Xiao Tingtong opened her eyes instantly and cried out in fright, "Young master, don't mention my leg." He Pingxing tossed her to the ground and asked, "Still haven't broken through? Instead of cultivating properly, you're sleeping here. Don't tell me I've been cultivating for 8 months while you've been sleeping here for 8 months." When He Pingxing was cultivating, he casually took the little guy out of the Great Freedom Pearl and threw him into the training ground. Originally, he wanted her to cultivate with him, but this guy actually slacked off. "What else can I do?" Ting Tong said, "I'm currently at the 12th level of the Golden Core stage, but I'm still far from breaking through. I have nothing to do, so what can I do if I don't sleep?" "All right." He Pingxing reached out and grabbed her leg again, then with a whoosh, threw it into the Great Freedom Bead. They've broken out of the formation. Arriving at the 1st floor of the Taishu Chamber of Commerce again, I found it much more lively than before. There are too many people. There are also more goods now. An auction was even held here just 2 months ago. 6 months. Give me another 6 months. Ling Jiwang said excitedly, "Fellow Daoist in 6 months, I plan to organize another auction and a trade fair. It's just that we're a bit short on rare and precious medicinal herbs. Do you have any other gimmicks up your sleeve?" Ling Ji looked at He Pingxing with longing. He Pingxing said, "Yes, please wait a moment." He took out several jade boxes. A 10,000-year-old ice marrow, a bottle of top-grade wood attribute, gathering Tao pill, several top-grade magic treasures, and 10 drops of Icefield Divine Dew. These things are enough to serve as a gimmick. Thank you, thank you. This is enough." Ling Ji was overjoyed. He Pingxing asked, "Is there anything else?" Ling Ji said, "That kid Huangshan has already broken through to the Golden Core stage. He's incredibly grateful to you now, and has been a great help to you both inside and outside the shop." He Pingxing nodded. He gave Huangshan a nunchi fruit and a top-grade Chaoyuan pill. As Huangshan said, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that He Pingxing was his second father. If he still didn't work hard, he would truly have no conscience. Also, the Crown Prince has come to urge you several times, saying that you should go and take a look at the Dragon platform and the Dragon Steely as soon as possible. Because the qualifying rounds for the 9 Kingdoms tournament will end in just over 10 days. He Pingxing looked puzzled. Wasn't it supposed to be a year? Only 8 months have passed, and it's over so quickly. Yes. Ling Ji said, "The royal family needs to select personnel as soon as possible. They said there is another important matter to be done before they go to Nianshan to ask him about it. That's why the Crown Prince has sent people to urge us time and time again." "All right." He Pingxing said, "I'll go take a look over there right now." Day 3 of paying off debts at dawn. Chapter 397. A kick that sends someone flying. He Pingxing returned to Long Tai, and Ling Jiwang stayed by his side. On the dragon platform, competitions were taking place in almost all of the 10 formations. He Pingxing did not watch the match, but instead extended his divine sense slightly and looked at the dragon stele next to him. The current dragon stele no longer displays the top 100. Instead, there are only 10 rankings. First place, Xianxia. Second place, the ascetic master. Third place. He Pingxing frowned. Previously, Liang Huaqiu was in first place. Why can't I see her name anymore? Fortunately, Liang Huaqiu finally appeared in 9th place. Good heavens, the former number 1 has now become number 9? The eldest princess actually ranked 9th, such a big drop. He Pingxing asked in surprise. Yes. Ling Ji said, Princess Xianxia is under a lot of pressure. She is challenged almost every day, and she has been pushed out of the top 10 3 times. I must say, the competition was truly fierce. Why? He Pingxing asked, wasn't she number 1? No. Ling Ji said, in the past, the rankings on this dragon stele were mostly recorded by disciples from the capital. Cultivators from remote counties outside the capital rarely came to the capital specifically to compete for this so-called dragon stele. This time it's different. Because regardless of victory or defeat, all cultivators participating in the 9 Kingdoms Grand Competition have the opportunity to travel to the Xianmen Holy Land, he asks him and Nyan Mountain, to listen to the Tao, so geniuses from all the major prefectures have also come. A duel between geniuses is naturally extraordinary. So, the eldest princess. He Pingxing nodded, I understand. So, the eldest princess's fighting power is still extremely formidable. Consider this. The entire Great Liang Kingdom has more than 70 major prefectures, and Princess Xianxia's ability to remain among the top 10 in these prefectures is enough to prove her strength. Fellow Daoist He, which dragon platform are you planning to challenge? Lexus often purses his lips forward. He Pingxing looked over. There are fights taking place in all 10 arenas. Just as he was watching, Liang Huaqiu, dressed in a moon-white robe, suddenly came to He Pingxing's side. Greetings, Princess. He Pingxing and Ling Jiwang quickly bowed to the 2 men. Liang Huaqiu said, why are you being so polite all of a sudden? Have your injuries healed yet? You haven't developed any health problems, have you? As she spoke, Liang Huaqiu's gaze shifted slightly downwards. He Pingxing's face darkened. Princess, don't joke around. After saying that, he quickly changed the subject. Have you fought yet? 1 match for today has already been fought. Princess Xianxia said. Now, I'd like to see who will ultimately win on the 9th arena today, so I can make some preparations. The winner of today's 9th arena will compete against Princess Xianxia first thing tomorrow morning. Princess Xianxia was the guardian of the monument. After she has finished her daily match, the others can compete in turn. Once a single person is chosen, the first match of the next day will be against the guardian of the monument. Every dragon platform is the same. I wish you the best of luck in winning tomorrow. He Pingxing smiled. Liang Huaqiu asked, what number do you want to call? How about, you try number 1. Chen Jiashan is really strong. When he first fought me in the arena, he only used 4 moves and I had to surrender. His at the golden core stage, and his at the 12th level. He Pingxing looked towards the number 1 arena but did not see Chen Jiashan. That guy isn't here either. No way. He Pingxing shook his head. I can't even beat you, how could I possibly beat the number 1? I think, maybe I should try for 10th place. His gaze fell upon the 10th arena. The 10th arena was the most exciting. Because in everyone's mind, the last ring must be the easiest, right? All right. Princess Xianxia said, let's go, I'll take you there. The rules of this duel are the same as the 2 of us back then. The use of external objects is not allowed. Otherwise, even if you achieve results, they will be invalid. Okay. He Pingxing said, thank you. In front of each dragon platform, there is an official administrator. He Pingxing approached the manager. The man was only a Foundation establishment disciple. Upon seeing Princess Xianxia, he quickly and respectfully bowed. No need for formalities. Princess Xianxia pointed at Pingxing. Give him a plaque and let him go up on stage to play. Yes. The man gave Pingxing a token. With the sign, you can go on stage anytime. Pingxing did not go on stage immediately, but first took a look from the side. There are so many people. At a glance, there were at least 70 or 80 people. Bang! At that very moment, the winner was also decided on the 10th dragon platform. A chubby male cultivator knocked a female Taoist priest off the stage. Number 7 wins. The manager below the stage raised his hand and said, "Number 7, do you want to rest or continue to the next round?" The spiritual energy was definitely depleted after the competition. Therefore, according to the rules, you can rest after finishing a match. However, some cultivators, feeling powerful enough, can continue to the next battle without resting. For example, this male cultivator. The chubby male cultivator raised his hand and said, "Continue." "All right." The manager nodded, then looked at Pingxing. "Senior, you may now go on stage. Number 94th to take the stage today." These words immediately drew dissatisfaction from those around them. On what grounds? I'm number 20-something and it hasn't even been my turn yet, so why is number 94 going up? That's right, isn't it first come, first served? How do you manage things? Many people yelled at the manager. The managers were immediately thrown into a panic. He turned his gaze to Princess Xianxia, hoping she could lend him a hand. As a result, Princess Xianxia quickly retreated a few steps. She wanted to slap this guy a few times. Just wait a bit, it's so stupid to blatantly provoke public anger like this. Result. Bang! Just as everyone was making a racket, a muffled thud suddenly came from the stage. Everyone turned around and saw Pingxing standing on the arena, while the fat cultivator had somehow fallen off the stage. This. Everyone, including Princess Xianxia, was dumbfounded. Is that all? We haven't seen it yet. Everyone fell silent. The manager quickly wiped his sweat and asked, "Number 94, continue or rest?" Pingxing said, "Let's continue." Then, another cultivator stepped onto the arena. This time, everyone stared wide-eyed, eager to see how Pingxing had just knocked the person off the stage. Result. Soon, Pingxing's figure flashed, and he activated the 3000 thunderclap technique, appearing in front of his opponent in a flash. Then, ignoring his opponent's attack, he kicked out directly. Bang! The spiritual energy in his feet erupted, and a tangible energy wave burst forth with bright golden light. Pingxing not only easily broke through the opponent's attack, but also kicked him down. With a thud, it landed off the stage. This time, Pingxing didn't wait for the manager to speak and said directly, "Continue." Chapter 398. If one kick doesn't work, then 2 kicks will do. Pingxing's kick, though seemingly easy, was actually anything but simple. Without using magic, ordinary fist and foot attacks, even if infused with spiritual power, will not be very effective against the opponent. The reason he succeeded twice in a row was because of one word: speed. They caught the opponent off guard. Besides speed, there is also the power of the laws and rules of Tao. For cultivators at the Golden Core stage, it's like a dimensional reduction attack against cultivators of the same realm who haven't comprehended the Tao. If this kick were to incorporate even a little bit of Taoist magic, it would no longer be just one's own power, but rather a way of harnessing the power of heaven and earth to fight. Who could withstand that kick? It's understandable that the opponent was blasted off the arena, which was dozens of feet in size. Damn it! Someone said, "He's fast, everyone be careful, don't let him catch us off guard. We must unleash defensive spells immediately." After everyone noticed some clues, they became more confident. Bang! A female cultivator stepped onto the arena. The moment she landed on the arena, she unleashed her magic. An ice blue water attribute shield formed around her body. With the magic shield blocking, even if things go badly, you shouldn't be kicked off the stage, right? Then, He Pingxing smiled and moved his body. He unleashed the 3000 thunderclap technique with a roar, reaching the pinnacle of speed, and kicked out as he approached the female cultivator. Earth overcomes water. With this kick, He Pingxing unleashed Earth attribute magic power, which also carried a trace of the power of rules. Bang! The woman, with her unbroken shield, was also kicked away and landed with a thud below the arena. There is one rule in the competition: whether you are defeated or knocked off the stage, you lose. The power of rules. This is the power of rules. My God, this guy is at the golden core stage. What happened? I see. Good heavens. He's even reached the golden core stage. Isn't this just bullying him? The crowd began to murmur amongst themselves. Next, more than a dozen people surrendered. They've already reached the golden core stage. What are you even doing? There were 10 arenas, originally only 9 of which were occupied by cultivators at the golden core stage. These 9 people occupied the 1st through 9th positions respectively. The only guardian of the 10th dragon platform is a 12th level cultivator without a passage. Now look what's happened. Another passage has appeared? How can we fight like this? I'm not fighting anymore. They've surrendered. There's no hope left. This is the last one. How come another golden core channel has appeared? Many people at the 10th arena said they would not fight anymore. But some people are eager to try. After all, some people are very confident, while others believe that they can compete with those cultivators who have reached the golden core stage because they have cultivated powerful techniques and spells. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been so many challengers in front of the first 9 arenas. At the very back of the 10th dragon platform, amidst the crowd, stood a cultivator dressed in black, who was smiling as he watched the arena. This person's Daoist name is Bunu, and his cultivation level is at the 11th level of the golden core stage. He is also a cultivator who has passed the golden core stage. He comes from a remote county, and because he was in seclusion, he did not arrive immediately, so he only arrived today. Originally, he intended to seize the 10th dragon platform. But to my surprise, He Pingxing beat me to it. It doesn't matter. Although both were at the golden core stage, he felt his cultivation was far superior to He Pingxing's, so he naturally didn't take He Pingxing seriously. Hehehe. Master Binu chuckled, muttering to himself, it's nothing more than relying on a little bit of the power of the rules. How laughable, how laughable. Fine, let me knock him off the stage. Master Binu walked to the front of the crowd, put his hands behind his back, raised his head slightly, and looked at He Pingxing, saying, you should rest for a while. I'll be going on stage soon. This posture is downright arrogant to the extreme. People around started talking about it. Who is this? I've never seen this before. They must be guests from afar. Could it be a golden core cultivation portal? It's probably true, otherwise, how could he be so arrogant? Arrogant? That's called confidence, okay? The unperturbed immortal thoroughly enjoyed this treatment, a faint smile playing on his lips. He Pingxing said, no need to rest. Come on up. Good. With a swift movement of his feet, Master Bunu landed on the arena. Moreover, he landed not far from He Pingxing and said, how about this? I'll give you a chance to kick first. If you can kick me off the stage, you win. After saying that, the unangry immortal stood on the arena. A layer of light film emerged from his body, appearing as an earthy yellow color. At first glance, He Pingxing thought it was his own earth armor technique. Although this spell is not an earth armor spell, it should be similar in principle. Good heavens, he's an earth attribute cultivator. That's incredible defense. He Pingxing asked, are you ready? Master Bunu smiled and said, fellow Daoist, you may launch an attack at any time. He Pingxing approached rapidly from the opposite direction. Master Bunu smiled slightly, and a faint earth attribute power suddenly merged into the armor on his body. He. The unangered immortal laughed. So you think you can achieve the golden core channel? When your leg touches my body, let's see if you can still kick. If you can't even kick it, you'll be the one who loses face. Just then, He Pingxing's leg finally collided with Bunu Zhenren's body. Wood overcomes earth. Therefore, this time, He Pingxing used the immortal energy of the wood attribute and the power of the wood attribute rules. However, this attack only caused the opponent, Master Bunu, to take 2 steps back. It did not send him flying. This, He Pingxing understood immediately, the Golden Core channel. Good heavens, this guy was actually a Golden Core cultivator? Not only is he at the Golden Core stage, but his cultivation level is also higher than He Pingxing's. Then it's unlikely that you can kick the other person away. Because in this situation, both sides wield the power of the rules of heaven and earth, which is equivalent to neither side having the power of the rules of heaven and earth. Fellow Daoist, it's not too late to admit defeat now. Master Bunu sneered, otherwise, once I make my move, your fate will be uncertain. He Pingxing didn't waste any words, but instead stretched out his leg a second time and kicked Bunu Zhenren. Again. Immortal Bunu sneered, unleashing his boundless magical power. The external shield emitted an almost blinding light. However, it didn't work. Bang! A black light burst forth from He Pingxing's leg. Then, like a ball, Bunu Zhenren was kicked away and his body crashed into the massive defensive array's light membrane, only to be bounced back by the array's power. With a thud, he fell to the ground. Chapter 399C of Poisonous Thorns. No. This round doesn't count, I wasn't prepared. Master Bunu got up from the ground, his face flushed as he looked at He Pingxing on the stage. He Pingxing said calmly, you lost. No. I won't lose. Bunu said angrily, I'm not a sore loser, but this time I really let my guard down. Fellow Daoist, today is not the last day of the competition. Even if you win today, I will still challenge you tomorrow. So, if you don't want any trouble, let's have a fair fight. Whoever wins this match goes up in the ring, how about it? Actually, what the foolish immortal said makes sense. Could He Pingxing kick someone of the same cultivation level away with a single kick? Sure. However, it would be unlikely if facing someone of the same level who had also reached the Golden Core stage. Even if he were to unleash his 5 elements unified force, it would be highly unlikely. The reason he was able to kick Bunu away was entirely because the other party was overconfident. Because He Pingxing failed the first time, he became arrogant and offered almost no resistance, only using an earth attribute defensive spell, which gave He Pingxing an opportunity to take advantage of the situation. Under normal circumstances, with both offense and defense, He Pingxing would have almost no chance of succeeding. For example, if you kick out, the opponent will simultaneously cast a defensive spell and launch an attack. Offense is the best form of defense. This way, it can no longer be kicked away. What Master Bunu said later also made sense. If we don't let him challenge us today, we'll have to face this guy sooner or later once He Pingxing becomes the guardian of the monument. Since that's the case, we might as well solve it once and for all. Okay. He Pingxing agreed, saying, I'll give you half an incense stick's time to rest. After half an incense stick's time, we'll begin again. Facing this cultivator at the 11th level of the Golden Core stage, He Pingxing naturally dared not be careless. After consuming a few drops of Golden Bee Holy Elixir, he filled all his Dantian and Golden Core. At this moment, the unangered immortal also jumped up. I'm getting serious, said the unperturbed immortal. You'd better be careful. He Pingxing said, you can't win. Don't worry, I can't lose. Master Bunu said confidently, I know that wood overcomes earth, and you overcome me, but the difference in cultivation level cannot be made up for by the restraint of Dao techniques. Let me tell you today. The difference between the 11th level of the Golden Core stage and the 6th level of the Golden Core stage. Boom. The earth attribute magic power within the body of the unfeeling true man surged forth, instantly transforming into a small mountain 3 jong in size on his right hand. This is not a magic weapon or treasure, but simply earth attribute magic power. Take this move. Bang! The Unfu immortal, holding a small mountain in his hand, suddenly leaped into the void 100 feet high, and was about to smash the small mountain onto He Pingxing's head. However, at that moment, Master Bunu witnessed a scene that he would never forget for the rest of his life. Below, on the arena, which was 30 feet wide and 30 feet long, countless green thorns rose from the ground and broke through the soil. The arena was densely packed with people. These thorns grew rapidly, reaching a height of 4 or 5 zhong in less than a breath. A green ocean had long since submerged He Pingxing. At this moment, Master Bunu could no longer see He Pingxing, but it didn't matter, as his divine sense could lock onto him. Fall. He hurled the mountain he was holding at the spot where He Pingxing was. Rumble. As the mountain peak descended, millions of brambles on the ground suddenly shot out, soaring into the air like giant green dragons. Countless brambles blocked the mountain's descent, forcibly stopping its descent. Then, countless brambles wrapped around it. Click. The small hill turned to dust. Countless thorny branches flew upwards into the void once more, heading straight for the unangry immortal. The situation where Bunu Zhenren is now in a very awkward position. He only has 2 paths. Either take the thorns head-on, or jump off the ring and go somewhere else. Because the entire arena had long been covered with brambles. Damn it! Just as Master Bunu hesitated whether to charge down directly, countless thorny branches rushed towards him. Then they took the opportunity to trap him tightly. Puff! Puff, puff, puff. Dozens of poisonous thorns flew out, each piercing the body of the unangry immortal. His skin broke open, and venom poured into his body. Such profound, spiritual power. After saying this, Master Bunu immediately fainted. Amidst the astonished gazes of countless people, the emerald green brambles began to shrink, transforming into countless streams of wood elemental energy that flew back into He Pingxing's body. The arena returned to its original state. The only difference is that this unfeeling immortal is already lying on the arena. Not moving at all. As if he were dead. The entire scene was completely silent. The scene of millions of thorns flying out was too shocking. After a long while, someone swallowed hard, his mouth dry, and said, "I never imagined that wood attribute magic could be so powerful. Amazing! This guy is ruthless. Could that guy be dead?" All eyes turned to Bunu. He Pingxing reached out and placed his hand on Bunu Zhenren's body. Then, he used his wood attribute magic to absorb the remaining poison on Bunu Zhenren's body. He woke up quietly, without anger. "Thank you." Although he had been poisoned and lost consciousness, he still had a sliver of his mind clear, and he had seen everything He Pingxing had done. If He Pingxing had wanted to kill him just now, it would have been incredibly easy. Even without doing anything, these toxins alone could keep the angry immortal from ever waking up again. Therefore, the angry immortal was extremely grateful after waking up. "You're welcome." He Pingxing waved his hand casually. "Is there any other fellow Daoist who would like to take on the challenge? If not, then today's first place on the 10th Dragon platform would be mine." He Pingxing's gaze swept over everyone below the 10th Dragon platform. The number of people here has actually increased again. Looking at it again, well, all the people who were previously below the other dragon platforms have now come to the 10th Dragon platform. The area below the dragon platform was quiet. No one dared to challenge it anymore. He Pingxing said, "If no one challenges me, then I'm sorry, I'm leaving. I'll challenge the Monument Guardian again tomorrow." He Pingxing left the arena and headed towards his Chamber of Commerce. Princess Xianxia hurriedly caught up from behind, saying, "Hey! He Pingxing, wait for me." On a certain street, He Pingxing stopped and turned around. Princess Xianxia asked, "You were so powerful before. Were you holding back when you fought me?" "No." He Pingxing shrugged and said, "This is a divine ability that I only comprehended after 8 months of seclusion. Without this divine power, I wouldn't be able to defeat that unfury immortal." Xianxia asked, "Are you telling the truth?" He Pingxing nodded, "Of course it's true." Chapter 400 Tantai Chi, I don't believe it. Wearing a moon-white tourist robe, Liang Huaqiu looked at her head, binding her elastic lips with her pearly teeth, looking at aggrieved. He Pingxing said, "There's nothing I can do if you don't believe me." After saying that, he quitted his place and left. He had absolutely no interest in Liang Huaqiu. Although she is very beautiful. Why are you walking so fast? When Liang Huaqiu caught up, He Pingxing had already gotten into his carriage. Is there anything else, Your Highness? Prince Qinghe's opportunity changed, from aggrieved to proud, and she said, You'll have to come again tomorrow anyway, so I'll give you a chance. Go to the prince's response to pick me up first thing in the morning. Did you hear me? Snort. Before He Pingxing could answer, she gave a powerful short and turned to leave. Ling Ji said, Fellow Taoist this. He Pingxing said, Don't worry about it, let's go back first, we still have a lot to do. He Pingxing rode in the car and soon returned to the Chamber of Commerce. With nothing else to do, I'll first release a watch of wood attribute. If this thing was to appear at an exercise, nascent soul stage multinationals would probably be scrambling to get their hands on it. After the alchemy is programmed, place it in the situation basin to enjoy it. Although he only had less than a day, He Pingxing still didn't want to bet it, so he literally took out the Heavenly Moon Divine Array and became to study it. His language has now broken through to the 6th level of the Golden Core state, but his invasion kills are still stuck at the Foundation Establishment status. So far, we can only set up a 3rd gradation. It's time to update this situation. In fact, over the years, He Pingxing had been seriously stuttering the Heavenly Moon Divine while he was plowing. Though there hasn't been a breakthrough yet, it's only a matter of time. Early the next morning, He Pingxing quite was he'd up and left the temple. Ling Ji asked obviously, Prince Qinghe said yesterday that she wanted us to go and fetch her. He Pingxing look his head, she's not without legs, why should we go pick her up? As soon as they stepped out, the car was stopped by Prince Qinghe, who was dressed in a black tourist robin. She changed into a Taoist routine today, which made her sick even worse and more like Jade. Don't I tell you to pick me up? He was taken away, then he turned around and moved at Ling Jiwang. Ling Ji quickly returned, Oh, right, we were going to pick up the princess, but we didn't expect you to bear early. Yes, that's right. Let go. You're going to the left. To tell you the truth, I knew you wouldn't come to pick me up, so I've been waiting for you here since this morning. As quoted. He. Precious queen, she's working a full smile. He was not good at lying, and at this moment he didn't know how to answer. You stupid rabbit, I told you to go right, but you went left. The rabbit winked in pain, and it turned around to look at He Pingxing with an innocent exception. All right. Snort. Let's go, to Long Tai. He Pingxing broke a high of relief. Ling Ji carefully counted out of the car and then went to case the rabbis. Prince Qingxi took He Pingxing's arm with her flyer and said, I'm your first concubine, you'll have to help me out later. With an awkward smile on his face, He Pingxing asked, How can I help? Prince Qinghe said, Look, I'm the best among these 2 dragon plans right now. Who knows what kind of powerful people will appear in the next few days? What if I get knocked down? You can help me take it back. Qin looked at He Pingxing, her face almost touched him, her bright eyes like water, her flight like the wind. Can this still help? If anyone tries to take my, then you go and beat down that guy who pulled me. He Pingxing was stunned, it can be like this. Then, what if I knock him off the stage, and he goes back to the 10th dragon platform to challenge you? Prince Qinghe remained silent. Outside, Ling Ji couldn't help but say, That's easy, just cripple him, right? He Pingxing. What followed was silence. Not long after, the 2 arrived at the dragon platform square. There were still a lot of people. He Pingxing and Prince Qinghe stepped off the carriage one after the other. Many people turned their attention to this. After all, Prince Qinghe was too effective in both appearance and status. He Pingxing had just secured the challenge for the 10th dragon platform yesterday, and today he technically challenged the Guard of the Moon. It's not assuming that this has been introduced. He Pingxing's gaze is also wet over. I'm sorry. Apart from Prince Qinghe, all the other guards of the moon were also present. On the number 1 arena stood a young man dressed in white, named Qian Jiashan. On the 2nd stage is a young man in grey. He knows that's the old man. His eyes were turned around. Rumors say that from the first Tanaka to the 9th princess of Qinghe is a Kindan pass. Only the guy on the 10th ring has no access. According to the rules, it should start with the 10th plateau. Play first. Princess Qinghe and he are walking together. Don't underestimate the 10th dragon plateau. His name is Zhu Jing dynasty, but without the golden path, he's a different god. When he first challenged me, he caught me by surprise. Even lost him and fell off the table. Good news is, I took it back. Not his life. Between the two of you, you've come to the 10th. On the 10th stage, a young man in black was standing. He's tall and he's amazing. Do you like the poaching pots? Thank you for listening to Panda Audiobooks. If you love what you hear and want to support my work, check out the PayPal link in the description. Every bit helps. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notifications bell to stay updated with all our latest audiobook chapters. We'll see you in the next one.